Welcome back to the All Things Real Estate Podcast with your hosts. I'm Aaron Zapata.
And I'm Todd Anderson.
We are with Impact Properties, and we are serving Southern California, as well as anywhere you want to move to in the country.
Yeah, really anywhere.
Anywhere, right? I mean, come on. We've got a great network of agents.
But we are licensed in California.
Yes, we are. And if you're in LA, Orange County, San Bernardino, or Riverside, that's specifically the ones that we serve. But Todd, what are we talking about today on today's episode?
All right, this is a fun one. Today we're going to talk about the $82,000 thumbs up emoji.
That's right. So pay attention because your next emoji could cost you big bucks. And we don't want that to happen to you.
That's right. And we're also going to talk about what happens if your insurance carrier drops you. There are two insurance carriers in California that have left a lot of people wondering what to do.
That's right. Nobody likes to be dumped, but sometimes you might be by your insurance company. And so we want to give you some alternatives there. And so as we get into this today, let me just remind you that we are not your attorneys. We're not your real estate agents. And our license numbers are 01356534 and Todd?
020-77325.
And for Impact Properties at 019226771. Let's get into it. All right, let's get to it.
Let's get right to it.
But before we do that, let's just remind people that we are not their real estate advisors.
No, we are not. We are real estate advisors, but you're not ours unless we have a contract.
That's right. So we're not giving you any real estate advice. So do not rely on anything you hear on this wonderful podcast and what to do.
Yep.
Talk to your agent.
That's right.
If you don't have an agent and you're in Southern California, guess what?
You can give us a call at 833-305-BALD.
That's 833-305-BALD.
That's right.
And just so you're not thrown off, you're not going to hear from us directly. You're going to get to our call center. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they will forward information to us so that we can call you back.
While we are sleeping.
That's right. So if you're awake and it's the middle of the night, it's 3 a.m., and you're listening to this or you're watching this, by all means, give us a call. Somebody's there waiting.
All right. Hey, let's quit wasting time. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, you know emojis, right?
I don't know them personally.
Okay.
I don't have a relationship with them, but I'm familiar with them.
You know what they are?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
My kids have taught me all about them.
They have, right? We're all reverting back to like this Egyptian hieroglyphics, right?
Yeah.
You know?
We communicate with pictures
that's
now.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and memes. It's emojis and memes. That's our new generation. That's how we communicate.
That's right. Speaking of like, those kind of communications,
yeah.
I was on vacation with my wife, and we are out in East Zion. And so this
beautiful.
It'd be absolutely beautiful. There's the national park, which you can go through. But if you continue to go east, like you're heading out to Bryce, you can go into this little town, and it's called Orderville.
Okay.
Very orderful. There's lots of good orders. And we paid for these little slot canyon excursion.
Okay.
And so we got to go up into this little slot canyon, and one of them had Native American hieroglyphics,
really,
like markings on the wall.
Wow. And
it was so cool because
is there like a thumbs up one and a happy face one?
Yeah, like prayer hands and yes. There was
one with the hand slapping the face.
That's right. That's right. I'd never seen any in person.
Yeah.
And they had them there, and it showed kind of the guides that we were there think that perhaps they were marking kind of what's in that territory. Because there was an animal depiction, and there was just a couple of other things. Yeah. And this is really ancient, like 500 years ago is what they think that was carved in. Speaking of emojis and all that stuff, how much does it cost to send an emoji?
That's a good question. I'd heard something on this before because it has to do with the licensing of that emoji, right? When you develop one. I'm just going to say, I don't know. Just tell, you have the answer. Let me quit acting like I know what I'm talking about. Aaron, educate me. How much does it cost to send an emoji?
It depends, because whether or not we recognize this to be true, the laws are evolving and changing. And we know that a written email with a responded agreement can be binding. Hey, I'm going to sell you this house for $500,000. And someone replies back and says, that sounds great. We have a deal. Let's open escrow.
Because it's written.
Because it's written, right? Contracts are in writing.
That's right.
So the question is, are emojis contractually
Okay.
obligated.
I see where you're
right.
going
You
with
see where
this.
I'm going with this?
Yeah. Different path that I was thinking.
Exactly. I'm not talking about licensing and all this. What, Todd? What are you talking about?
Well, I'd heard a study before about what it costs to develop an emoji. That's what I was thinking. Anyways, let's get back on track.
Yes.
Your track was much better than mine. Let's keep going.
So I saw this article on CNN Business, and it says that, now I'm just going to read you the headline, which I got right here. Okay. Farmer owes $82,000 in contract dispute over the use of a thumbs up emoji.
You're kidding me.
$82,000 over a thumbs up emoji.
Okay, you got to unpack that so we all understand. I'm dying to know.
Okay, so
what happened here?
Yeah, first of all, this is in Canada.
Okay.
So if you live in America and you're watching our podcast, you don't want to say this doesn't affect me at all, because these things have a way of working themselves out in the rest of the world. Okay.
But this is in Canada.
This is in Canada.
And we're in America.
We're in America. Yeah. So a Canadian farmer owes $82,000 for breach of contract after using the thumbs up emoji in a text. And so you can read the whole article. In fact, we can link it in the show notes so you can go and read the article. But essentially, one farmer was agreeing to sell bushels of his product for a fixed amount per bushel. And so he sent out this contract. The buyer of his product signed and initialed the contract, took a picture of it on his phone, texted it back to the person who originated the contract, and in acknowledging the contract, he did the thumbs up. Well, the judge has now said that your thumbs up was that was it. That's all we needed for you to say you have received it, you agree to it.
Yep. It's like a signature.
Correct.
Or an initial. Yeah.
Correct. And so what happened was that when it came time to take delivery of this product, the farmer who had originated the contract didn't make delivery because the price of that item had gone up more than twofold.
Gotcha.
From the time it was signed to the time of delivery. And so the guy said, no, I bought these things at that price. You need to deliver them. And the judge said that was valid.
Wow.
$82,000.
Wow. That's amazing.
For a thumbs up.
Well, that all goes back to kind of even our last episode where we talked about contracts.
Yeah.
And knowing what's in the contract, what you're signing. And wow, that's amazing.
So when we are realtors working back and forth on real estate, I know it's easy for realtors to simply do a thumbs up. Hey, do we have a deal? Can you imagine?
Yeah. And
let's talk about that.
We get a lot of our negotiations with other realtors are not necessarily on the contracts. Now, that's what solidifies everything. That's what kind of memorializes the contract. But a lot of going back and forth between us and other agents are text messages, emails oftentimes. But oftentimes, let's face it, it's text messages. And a lot of realtors like to use emojis. I get a lot of thumbs up. I've sent thumbs up.
And it's okay to send it.
There's nothing wrong with that, but make sure that when something's in writing, you understand that it's immortalized, right? It's forever,
right?
And they can always come back to that. And so yeah, a lot of what we do is not on the actual CAR forms, the zip forms that we typically use, but a lot of what they are is basically communications, or text messages, phone calls. Now, if you leave a voicemail as well, that's not written, but it is recorded. So that's another form of communication.
And if it's a Google voicemail, it's transcribed.
That's right.
Often incorrect.
That's right. Quite often incorrect.
They do not know what I'm saying 99% of the time. Okay, but let's talk about this for our sellers and our buyers. We have a listing, and we've got 4 or 5 offers, and we then submit them and negotiate them, and then we can't get a hold of a client, but we need to get approval for a specific term. Hey, seller, they're asking for a $3,000 credit in lieu of repairs. Yeah. And you send it via text because you don't necessarily draft a contract until you know it's valid or that they're going to agree to it. But, you're communicating with your client. Hey, $3,000. This is what they say. Is that okay? Yeah. And they do a thumbs up. Is it binding? Well, we're not attorneys.
We're not attorneys, but it's something that if something were to be litigated and it would go to that extent, that would definitely be brought up and be used.
For sure.
But yeah, Aaron brings up a very important part. We can't tell you yay or nay because we are not attorneys. But I can guarantee you that if it did go to litigation, that would be brought up and would be used as evidence.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So all this to say, as you are going through any contract, especially real estate, because this is all things real estate, we have to know and have everything documented properly. You do not want to rely on a thumbs up as any affirmative kind of, yes, we have approval.
Yeah.
Especially think about this, Todd, where, hey, you're negotiating, the agent sends you a text, hey, do we have a deal? And your agent replies to that other agent and gives them a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like, has that agent literally obligated you as the seller to take their deal? One could argue yes, even if you don't have a signed contract.
Yeah.
So the good thing about our contract and understanding how the contract works is it does say that anything that's not in this contract is not part of the contract. There's no verbal agreements. There's no other agreements on the side. Everything that's in the contract is codified, solidified, and in that contract.
That's right.
So it's super important as we think through these things because we are professionals.
Yep.
And I think professionals, instead of using emojis, should just say thumbs up.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
We are professionals and we use LOL. Okay, I got to tell you something real quick about myself. This has nothing really to do with real estate.
Well, but go ahead, Todd.
Since you brought it up with
Before
emojis.
we go there, can we tell people where they can find us?
Yes, they can find us at baldbrothersteam.com. That's online. Right. You can also go to baldbrothers.tv. That gets all of our videos. You can call us at 833-305-BALD, B-A-L-D. Instagram, Bald Brothers Team.
Twitter, Bald Brothers Team.
Yep.
And if you like it, subscribe, share, hit the bell, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That's what all the Utes say. Anyways,
right.
Okay, so this is real quickly.
LOL.
Okay. So back when texting started to really make its emergence, people started saying LOL.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is so stupid. I'm not really laughing out loud, so I'm not going to ever write LOL. And to this date, I made a commitment I will never use LOL. So I nobody will ever find a text message from me that says LOL because I made that commitment to myself. It's really stupid. It's dumb.
You seriously have never said
I've never said
LOL?
LOL. But you know what I have done is instead of doing LOL, I'll say ha ha ha. And I realize it's the same thing. I'm not really laughing. I'm not vocalizing this, but I say ha 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 because I refuse to say LOL. Anyways.
Okay. So
not important. Let's keep on moving.
Yeah. So well, I can go a little similar story. I did not know what LOL stood for.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In fact, the first time I received it from a guy friend of mine. And I thought that it meant lots of love.
That's what a lot of people thought originally. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, why is he texting me lots of love? I didn't realize he was laughing, So that was like my first encounter with like short code or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
Now there's IDK, IMHO, right?
Yeah.
All these other things that have meaning.
OMW, on my way.
That's right.
Yeah, our kids think we're ancient.
That's right. We are.
We're even talking about
we are.
it like
but,
this.
But, the reality is that things do take on meaning.
Yeah.
And those meanings matter.
Yeah, and that does go back to the whole thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's a matter of what's communicated. We don't communicate in old King James English today. The language has changed, and so now we're using pictograms basically.
Exactly.
To communicate.
Exactly.
All right.
So I got another topic to cover here today. This was a farmer.
Okay.
And a couple of insurance companies have been in the news, one of which was State Farm.
Okay, I thought you were going to tell a joke. It's about a farmer.
No. No jokes today.
Okay.
No jokes today. So recently, one of our past clients reached out to me. I don't think I even told you. But he said, hey, I just got a letter from my insurance carrier, and they are not renewing my homeowners policy. Because, as we know in the news, companies State Farm and Allstate.
Yep.
Not necessarily Allstate anymore.
Yeah. Some states.
Some states. They've changed their names.
Yeah, most states.
Some states.
Not all states.
Insurance company. They have
49 states.
That's right. And they have to keep changing their name every time they withdraw from a market. So he got the email or the letter saying, hey, what do I do? They're not renewing my homeowners insurance policy because they're no longer doing that.
Yep.
These two companies have decided to withdraw from the insurance market here in California.
Yep, both Allstate and State Farm.
And they're stating in many different articles I've read that it's due to climate change, and they're worried about wildfires and the payout that they're going to have to make. I've also heard from other sources that they wanted to raise their premiums, they couldn't. And so they can't do business here because they can't make a profit. Whatever the case may be, if you find yourself on the envelope opening side of the story where you have a letter that says, we love you, but we don't want to insure you, what do you do, Todd?
I don't know. What do you do? You're the one telling me the story. I want to know what you actually told this client. Yeah.
Well, see, there's a lot of people in California that are, in with one insurance carrier. Like they have everything there. Because
you get package discounts.
And
you
why
have
not?
your auto and
So if you're a State Farm and you got your auto insurance, you've got your homeowners insurance, you've got other stuff, personal liability insurance.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have an option.
Yeah.
So I went and I referred them to an insurance broker
who has access
represents multiple carriers, and they were able to find an insurance carrier and get that taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there will be an insurance carrier that will cover you, but the question is the one that you want with the terms that you want.
Right.
So,
and insurance is a big deal. In fact, it was my Bible study was talking about it in a group, and we're just kind of talking about the different areas where we live and the different amounts that we pay for insurance.
Yeah.
And I don't have a huge home, and I've been there a long time. And so I'm insured with a California carrier. Been with them ever since I bought my house 20 years ago. My rates aren't that bad for my home. But I was talking to my friend who lives in a high fire severity hazard
It's going to
zone.
change. Yeah.
And he told me what he was paying, and it's literally 5 times.
Oh, it makes it
what I'm paying.
Makes it different because it's a business model, right? Yeah. And they're in it to make money, and that's the way it should be. So so fire zones and flood zones, those are 2 big ones.
Yep.
Wow.
So anyways, if you are scrambling right now because your insurance carrier has said, we're not going to insure your property anymore, we just want to let you know you can reach out to us. We have different brokers that we have referred our clients to, and they can help shop around your policy to different carriers to see what kind of pricing they can get on your behalf.
Yeah, so I mean, we are not experts on homeowners insurance, but we can direct you to the experts.
Maybe you're not, Todd. I have been insurance for all of no minutes. So just kidding. I have no insurance licenses. Yes. And do not take insurance information
I have
advice from us.
Filed homeowners insurance claims. I've got experience with that personally. But
well, let's talk about that. So you filed a claim.
Yeah, this is many years ago.
So there is
Chino Hills. Yep.
There's a database. But before I talk about that, people should find us online.
They should find us online. Where can they find us online, Aaron?
Well, they can find us online at our website and on YouTube. BaldBrothersTeam.com is our website. BaldBrothers.tv takes you straight to our YouTube channel. They can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, all the places.
And they can also call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-BALD.
Because you're bald.
I'm bald. You're bald.
It makes sense.
It just makes sense.
You got to work with what you're given.
We embrace the baldness.
That's right. I always say the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
That's right.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. He took away our hair. So we go with it.
Yeah.
What was I saying before?
I don't know. It's something about insurance.
Yes, insurance.
Filing insurance claim.
Yes. So there is a master database that keeps track of all of the insurance claims. It's called the CLUE database.
Okay.
Combined Liability Underwriters Insurance, something like that.
Yep.
And they track you as an individual and insurance claims that you make, as well as the home that you've made the claim against. So if somebody moves into a home and there is a previous insurance claim, that seller needs to disclose it. Not only do they need to disclose it, it will show up when the new insurance company goes to write the policy on that home.
Yeah.
So I've seen situations where the seller said, oh, that wasn't a big deal. I actually didn't file a claim. I just called my broker and asked. Well, a lot of times that gets reported and recorded, and then it shows up on the CLUE report when they go to get insurance on the home.
Yeah.
So super important to know that your individual claims history follows you.
Yeah.
As well as the home.
Yeah.
So it can be possible to get insurance on one home, but not the next, because the next had a abuser. It says an insurance abuser.
And let's specify what kind of abuser.
Who basically called and filed claims every 3 years or every 4 years.
Be a problem.
And it is important to have insurance on your homes, especially when your mortgage is paid off.
Oh, yeah.
Some people have got into the habit of not renewing their insurance policies when their house is paid off. I know for me, in my mortgage payment every month, I pay my mortgage payment, my homeowners insurance, as well as my property taxes. That's calling, so it's all in one payment.
Yeah.
Right. And so if I don't renew my homeowners insurance, it's a red flag. They're like, hey, wait a minute. We have money for it. We're going to pay for it. We're going to make sure that that keeps getting done.
Yeah, but once the mortgage is paid off,
there's nobody looking over my shoulder.
There's no system making sure that happens.
That's right. And do you remember when we had that huge fire, probably 10, 12, 15 years ago now in Yorba Linda?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right? All those houses burned down?
I remember. Our church was right on the boundary area there. Actually, the building that our church moved to, and the fires went right all the way up to the boundary. Yeah, I remember that.
There are some homes that have never been rebuilt. My guess, because I don't know for sure, is that those houses were free and clear, 100% paid for, no mortgage, also didn't renew their insurance.
Yeah. Very important. And I think there's probably a psychological thing that happens, because once you've got your mortgage paid off, you almost feel like all I have to do is pay for my taxes. Right. And so there might be a psychological reason. Hey, if you're responsible enough to have enough put away to be able to make the repairs yourself, I don't know how many people are going to, if it's $1 million property, have $1 million on the sideline, or whatever.
Hey, if you're cash heavy, if you want to invest in property, we would like to talk to you.
Yeah,
because we do. we have properties. We have sellers that contact us all the time.
Yep.
And say, hey, I want to sell as is. I don't want the headache and the hassle of going on the market. I would love to be able to sell to one of your investors. So if you are an investor and you're listening to this, definitely reach out to us. Call us on our 800 number. We do have it staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they will take your call and your information and forward that on to us. Because we do work with sellers primarily here in Southern California, and we do have a wide network of agents that we can refer business to anywhere in the country. And a lot of people know this, most of our clients leave California.
Yep.
Sellers vacate California.
The majority of them are. We do have a lot of sellers that are moving other places within California, but the majority of them are moving out of California for various reasons.
That's right. And so if you are thinking about selling, you want to make sure that you work with a team and an agent or agents like Todd and myself who think through these things, who have experience with these things. And I've been in this over 20 years as a broker. I have seen a thing or two.
Yep.
And I've learned some things along the way because of those experiences.
You want to work with agents that understand the ramifications of sending emojis.
That's right. That's right.
Which comes down to understanding the way contracts work.
It does. When you understand contracts, when you understand the different steps that it takes to sell a property, when you recognize that, insurance right now, big deal. It's kind of about insurance today.
Yep.
So you don't wait till the last minute to secure your insurance.
That's right.
You have to get that in place early on. Why? Because you may have to go to multiple carriers to get the price that you're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to left with I believe it's the California Fair Plan.
Yeah.
Which is no bueno.
It's not going to be,
It's like, hey, we'll cover you maybe if something happens, if we have money left over, we don't want that.
Yep.
So
important to be insured, though.
That's right. So just like you would have car insurance, you want to make sure you have house insurance, and you want to make sure that all of those things are in order, especially if your house is paid off, because if something happens, you don't want to be left out to dry. So with that, Todd, where do we serve?
We serve all of Southern California, and we can also serve other areas in terms of referrals. We work with a team of real estate experts in all different areas.
That's right. And we just want to thank you for being here today. Thanks for listening to this episode of the All Things Real Estate Podcast with the Bald Brothers team. That's Aaron Zapata, Todd Anderson at Impact Properties. We want to thank you for being here. Submit your questions, call us, email us, let us know how we can serve you, because that's what we're here to do.
Yep.
God bless. We'll talk to you soon.